If I were to ask you if you're happy with your webcam quality, I would bet that most of you would say no, even those that have the newer MacBooks with the finally upgraded 1080p webcams built in, like the 16-inch MacBook Pro. I am in the same boat, especially if I'm not in a bright room or a studio environment like I am right now with a super large soft light. Well, that is where the Opal 4K webcam comes in, which not only has amazing quality, but is insanely easy to set up and use, has a ton of great software features, and is built like a tank. I know that you're gonna be very impressed by it, as were a ton of YouTubers and creatives like MKBHD, who not only uses it, even though he has multi-$100,000 of camera gear, but he even personally invested in the company. For years, I looked for a webcam like this one, and while smartphones and digital camera tech was moving fast, pretty much nothing was happening in the webcam space, which is why so many people's streams and recordings still look so terrible. Because of that, there have been many times where I've actually put away my laptop and I pulled out my phone and set it up on a box for a better angle when I was FaceTiming with friends, as well as Zoom meetings for work. Well, that is where a small team of folks from Apple, Tesla, and Google came together to start Opal. Not only did the camera design win awards, but even the box itself, and you could see why. Now, what surprised me the most is how extremely solid the camera is, being made out of metal and having this industrial design. The same thing goes with the mount, and even the metal tool they give you to attach it using the 1/4-inch threads at the bottom. This thing can mount to almost anything from a super thin MacBook display to my thick 6K Pro Display XDR, and of course you could put this on a tripod or any other mount if you would like. You also get a super high quality USB Type-C cable, which has a perfect fit, and a metal magnetic privacy cover with soft fabric on one side to protect the lens. So overall, the build quality is outrageously good. But what about the image quality? Well, I had really high expectations, but the results were even better than I expected. Now, the 1080p footage from my 16-inch MacBook looks its best in our studio lighting right here, but switching to the Opal in 1080p mode makes a shocking difference, with so much more detail and even some natural blur due to its large sensor. Switching to 1440p, the quality gets even better, and then switching to 4K, wow, the image quality is crazy, looking like my very expensive Sony mirrorless camera, so I knew that I had to compare it side by side. This setup has a $3,500 camera and a $2,300 lens, along with a bunch of extras that are required to make it work. And here is the difference in image quality. The Opal actually has more sharpness, which of course you can turn down in the settings if you would like, but the overall image quality is so similar, but the Opal takes just seconds to set up and take down, and it is tiny, so you can take it with you pretty much everywhere you go. I also tested a tough scenario that a lot of us find ourselves in, and that is being backlit by a light source like a window, which can really lower the contrast and make the image look too dark, since the sensor, lens, and processing really struggles in this situation. Here you can see that the MacBook camera looks worse than before, while the Opal still has a super detailed image without artifacts, and you can easily see my face. Now, Apple recently started allowing you to connect your iPhone to your laptop, so I decided to compare it to the very best iPhone, my 14 Pro Max, which has the amazing 48 megapixel sensor, and while it looks better than the built-in webcam, it can't even compete with the Opal while having a lot less detail and some massive lens flare due to the lens design. Now, of course, with that, your iPhone is also locked up, so you cannot use it if you end up needing to while you're using it as a webcam, and if you touch it, the webcam shuts off. And lastly, in worse lit environments, which many find themselves, the MacBook's webcam starts to look really bad, and that's the best MacBook webcam. And the difference with the Opal is just insane. That is because the Opal has a really nice Sony sensor that is the largest ever put into a webcam and an f1.8 6-element lens. With that, it has a very powerful Intel Myriad X chip for processing, so the hardware is very impressive. And I didn't even mention the mic mesh yet, which is an array of mics both on the front behind these holes and on the back that make your audio sound great. Now the other side of it is its software, which is easy to use but is also very powerful. You can just set it to auto and it looks great, or you could dive into the manual settings to fine-tune your image, and I appreciate that you don't have to go full manual, but you could just tune the settings that you want. There's a bunch of settings including touch up and tone sync to match your room, along with tunable bokeh, which looks way better than the over-the-top locked-in bokeh of the MacBook's webcam. You can add logos and overlays, zoom, have face tracking, and even record and loop your webcam along with tuning for your audio. It's not often that you get a product that is quick and easy to use, but also very high quality, both in the build and the quality of the image. And since it is so small, I have been keeping it with me in my bag at all times. There's a reason why so many creatives and professionals bought it when it was a limited release invite-only product, but it is now available to buy. So if you're tired of your webcam footage looking terrible, or you just want to step up to something that looks phenomenal, go ahead and check out the Opal using the link down below. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Max. Click that circle above to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.